Welcome back, Love Stylers. I'm Misty. Today we're going to be talking about intuitive eating. I will explain what that means. I want to thank all my subscribers. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing and hitting me up on Instagram. Please go see me over there. I do want to do a subscriber shout out to Elizabeth Lavette. Hi, Elizabeth. I got your comments. Thank you so much for engaging with us. So today's topic, we like to talk on this channel a lot about the carnivore keto diet. I lost 55 pounds. My husband lost over 100 pounds. And right now, this is the hot topic for us on Love Style. Intuitive eating. What's that? My definition of the word intuition, it seems so obvious, Misty, is trusting your gut, knowing. You just know some things. I don't know if you've ever not trusted your intuition and then later on regret the fact that you should have trusted your intuition. That happens to all of us. And with dieting or trying to eat on a certain type of plan or lifestyle, we kind of go by, well, what are the rules? Let's look this up. Let's check Google and see if I could have this or this vegetable or fruit or what have you. Now, when you go to eat, that's something that you know does not agree with your body. You can feel the inner knowing of your gut. Your gut instincts kick in here. Not to use the term gut, but our gut does have a brain of its own. I don't know if you knew that. It's called the gut brain. But I relate the gut brain to our intuitive eating, meaning your gut knows it's not going to resonate very well with you if you eat a pack of Oreos, for example. That seems very obvious, I know, but maybe even with some certain fruits, even with certain vegetables, every time you eat carrots, you say, I feel bloated after, or cauliflower for some people. Even broccoli, some cruciferous vegetables, to use a term of the times. And you have to pay attention to these things and be very, very in tune with yourself. So intuition and intuitive eating, your internal wisdom is always there, guys. It doesn't go anywhere. Your body will tell you these things. Your body is so smart. It tells you when you're cold. It tells you when you're getting sick. It tells you when you're too warm. It tells you not to bend this way. It tells you I'm full, stop eating. It tells you I'm thirsty when it needs water. So this relates to hunger cues, which are basically what I was talking about. Hunger cues are your body's actual physical, mental, intuitive signals that your body gives to you when you're starting to get full, when you're starting to feel satiated, which means full, and satisfied. A lot of people just ignore this cue. This is the intuitive eating we're talking about here, guys. This is one of the biggest ones that I can think of. So you keep eating, and then, you really don't feel good after when you overeat. I'm not saying to restrict calories. I'm not even saying to measure anything. This is intuitive eating. And this is something we're going to let our body tell us when we're done eating, or what kinds of foods we're going to be avoiding, because we're going to pay attention to what happens directly after and the following day. Things like this are signs. So hunger cues can tell your body to slow down and to give it a minute, and for you to realize maybe I am full. Maybe I don't want to feel like crap after I eat, so I'm going to stop. Some people take breaks in the middle of their meal, and I still don't recommend consuming beverages while you're eating, but to maybe put your fork down. Robert Sywes talks about this, the carb addiction doctor. Maybe we'll put a picture here. I haven't given him any love yet, but he's excellent. And he talks about addiction to food. And he actually practices putting down his fork during his meal or getting up from the table during his meal and giving it a moment before he overeats. And he says this works very well for him. You may want to try that. That's part of the intuitive eating that we're talking about. A lot of times when we're eating, especially during the holidays, and I'll give you an example in a moment, what happened to me a couple days ago at Thanksgiving. I did pretty well, guys. I hope you did well too. But it's just one day. Don't beat yourself up if you had something that you normally don't eat. It's not a big deal. You're not a bad person. But a lot of people consider eating an emotional event. Eating does not have to be an emotional event. So this is where we come to the intuition again. You know, you really do know yourself, and you really have to be in tune with yourself, with your soul, and nobody can tell you this stuff. You just know what you know. Like for me, for example, I cannot drink alcohol. And the reason I cannot drink alcohol is I know myself. I had to give up alcohol 3.5 years ago because I can't have one drink. I have to have 5 drinks. If I could have one drink, I'd probably still be consuming alcohol, even though I don't think it's good for any of us. But me as a person, I am in tune with myself enough to know I cannot have a sip of alcohol ever again. And that is something I've learned about myself. It's something I still love myself. I accept about myself. It's one of my weaknesses. And knowing your weaknesses as well as your strengths is very important to intuitive eating. A lot of people, they go by the 80-20 rule. I kind of like this idea. I didn't know how I felt about it when I first started keto a few years ago, and then went to carnivore eventually and did a lot of fasting. And I still intermittent fast every day until lunch. And the 80-20 rule is 80% of the time you're good, you stay on plan, and you follow the lifestyle or diet that you're on right now, and you're pretty darn good with it. I'm not talking about being perfect. I'm saying you stick to the plan so that you can be your best version and become healthy, of course. But the 20% is 20% of the time you allow something. This is a way to keep things in balance. The 80-20 rule is really convenient when you think about the fact that 80% of the time you're going to be sticking to your diet. That does leave 20% of having a little bit of fun, knowing your limits, being intuitive with yourself. Don't do anything that's going to make you go off the rails, and allowing some things once in a while. It does not make you a bad person if you want to allow a real sugar treat and you're hiding it from your friends and you don't want to tell anyone you cheated on your diet. This is regular everyday stuff, people. This is no big deal. This is just life. Let's enjoy it. Let's allow something once in a while if that helps you. And maybe don't allow other things if it triggers you to keep eating, for example. So intuitive eating, your internal wisdom, your gut brain, your natural instincts are going to tell you when too much food is too much food. You've been eating your whole life. I think we are rehearsed by now. You know, a lot of people measure their food, they use a scale, and I don't necessarily think anything's wrong with that, but I know myself. And if I had to restrict the amount of food that I eat by measuring and weighing and not knowing intuitively how much food is too much food for me, I don't think I would do as well on the carnivore keto diet. 90%, 10% I've been doing and been feeling great. I don't think I would like it as much. I think I would feel more restricted. I think it would mess with my head because, you know, some of this is rational or irrational thoughts that you may or may not have. We talk to ourselves inside our brain, and you have that voice that says, you know, This restricting is going to mess me up. I'm going to feel like I deserve something. We always think we deserve something. But maybe measuring and weighing is not going to work out for your personality. It doesn't work out for me. I think you know by now how much meat is too much meat. Like for myself, I can't eat more than a half a pound of meat at a time. That's too much. And I certainly can't eat 2 pounds of meat a day like a lot of strict carnivores eat. I can tell, though, when I look at food, how much I think is going to make me feel full. And this is my intuition kicking in. You know yourself more than anyone else could ever know you. Don't go by measurements of a diet and scaling out food. That's for one person's preference who wrote the diet up. Go by what you know about yourself, and you know how much it's going to take. I think you really do. If you're using a food scale, maybe try putting it away. Maybe it won't mess with your head as much. I told you I'd mention something about Thanksgiving. I made a peanut butter pie for my friends and my husband for Thanksgiving Day. Now, I don't respond well to peanut butter any longer, and I don't like how it makes me feel. I get itchy afterwards, and this is part of the intuitive eating we're talking about. Your body will tell you. So, Misty, how did you solve that? You didn't have any peanut butter pie? I wanted it, guys. So I made a sun butter pie, single serving, for myself, and I didn't add any sweetener to it. I just let the sugar that's already in the sun butter be the sweet part, and I did have some whipped cream on top. But I made a single serving, and I know myself, if I would have eaten a piece of pie every night, even the sun butter pie, for a whole week, it wouldn't do me well. I wouldn't feel very well. So I allowed a single serving on Thanksgiving. This is just a quick example of some of the flexibility that we talk about on this channel, and the fact that you can use your intuition and really think about things before it's too late, before you feel sick. You want to be your best version. You want to be able to exercise the next day. We have a hill, and we live on a very steep hill, and we walked up that hill on Thanksgiving after we ate our feast, which was mostly keto, and I did pretty well. I did have my sun butter pie, but, I did try to balance that out with some pretty good exercise on Thanksgiving. Instead of sitting and feeling fat on the couch and wasting away, I decided to try to balance it out with my intuition. My gut told me, get up and move around today. Intuitive eating is not the only thing we should pay attention to. Talking about walking up the hill on Thanksgiving, I listened to my intuition for exercising. Intuitive exercising should be a thing too. Listen to your body. Your body will tell you, Misty, you're walking too fast. I had to take it a little slow that day. And that's what I did. I made it all the way up the hill, but I listened to the signals my body was giving me. You don't want to do strenuous exercise and end up in worse shape than when you started. This last thing before we close today, guys, intuitive eating. We already covered intuitive exercise. And I know this seems obvious, all of this, but let's talk about real quick intuitive fasting. That means not over fasting. That means if you're feeling weak and you're trying to fast, or intermittent fast like we do here, which is basically skipping breakfast. If you feel really that, I really need to eat something, I'm not feeling right, something is off, my electrolytes seem funny, go ahead and go by your intuition with fasting. Not a lot of people talk about this. We talk about extended fasting, which I've done plenty of that, and I'm going to do an entire video on fasting. But use your intuition again, guys, when it comes to fasting. You will know when it's time to eat, and trust your gut instincts. We want to thank you for tuning into Love Style today. Thank you for listening to our music, Black Eyed Soul. Yes, our new album just dropped a little bit ago. Check it out. Check me out on Instagram. Keep tuning in if you want to find out how to become your best version and lose some weight this year in 2021. We've already started talking about 2021, and I want to continue because this year is the year of now. And that's what I'm going to coin it. 2021 is the year of now, and let's do something about it now. Let's not wait, and let's use our intuition to guide us. It's stronger than you think. Thank you for tuning into Love Style today. Peace.